Take one. As we see the news, as we see things in magazines, we see that we are truly in a world of disturbing images. And as we listen to the radio and the talking heads, we know that there's a lot of incessant noise. And at this time of the year, it really becomes very problematic with those images and that noise. And that's why it's so comforting to put on the Christmas carols. I know in our household, as soon as we get done with the Thanksgiving service, we begin listening to the familiar Christmas carols from the many, many CDs that we've collected over the years. And you get that great story and imagery of Mary at the manger as she gently lays her child. You hear the angels' triumphant song, and then the shepherds going and telling that story. And it brings a certain level of comfort, especially with all that disruption and noise around us. But there's an odd carol at this time of the year. Actually, it occurs a couple weeks after Christmas, but it's an odd carol nonetheless for the Christ child. It's about letting go. It's about departing. It's about dying. Not typically what you hear in those comforting carols. For indeed, this is Simeon's song. And it's a song that especially we might need to sing ourselves, especially with all that is going on in our country and the world today. Because with Simeon, there was a pious longing for the Christ's coming. He was looking forward to that Christ coming into his life and being able to see and hold that Christ because it had been promised to him by God. And with that, knowing if he would get to that point of having seen that Christ child, he put out his earnest plea for peace. But indeed, that is where we are in our world today. You and I have this pious longing for the coming of the Christ. And we put out this earnest plea for peace. But what we get is we get the beautiful light and light of Christmas time as we hear in the carols, as we see decorated in our churches and our homes, in some of the marketplaces. We get this light and life imagery at Christmas time, but it butt heads with the anguish and the bleakness of the world. As we sing in that familiar Christmas carol, O Little Town of Bethlehem, we sing where the hopes are joined with the fears, where the hopes and the fears meet tonight in this place. It's an expectation, as we see during this time of the year, an expectation of those Christmas gatherings of families that is tinged with regret when Uncle Bill or whomever, it might be a family member that maybe drinks too much or has a family issue that creates an argument. And so too often we see at this time of year a reunion that is overshadowed by stress and strife. Too often mixed at this time of the year. Too often as we have a clashing of that which is peaceful and comforting with that which is of the world. We have love and loss. We have joy and despair. We have anticipation, yet disappointment. That's the first take. Next, take two.